Right, go on.
I thought I was doing it.
Aye.
Why did you make me come over here to do the intro if I wasn't doing the fucking
joint intro?
Why? When have we ever done a joined intro?
Aye, that's a good point, but come on.
Am I doing it or are you doing it?
We're doing a joint one. We're in Athens. We had quite a lot to talk about.
Yep.
Couldn't squeeze it all in.
Nope.
What about you? With some banter? Even enough?
Why? This is so pointless. The whole point is one of us does it to introduce it.
On your way then?
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podcast. In today's episode, we talk about being in Athens, and then obviously most of the time we spend talking about Kai's new dog.
Which I really love.
Which he does very much love. And we overrun. And not because it's good.
I think it's pretty good, you know.
Cara, was it good?
You were drunk rambling.
Drunk rambling?
Cara
That's
says
what
we
you're
were
here
drunk
for?
rambling. So maybe... You know what, bitch? You could be more supportive.
Hey, you pull up a fucking pew if you can do any better. Grab a mic. We've got a spare mic.
Pew pew, bitch.
Pew pew.
Welcome to the podcast.
Sloss and Humphreys on the road.
Muggins and cream and Muggins. Straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking Muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
Are we in the same seats?
That's hack.
Ah, Muggles.
Accidental rim job in the park.
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Or am I just being cynical?
Muggled it up on fucking Mugglepedia.
Where have you been since 9/11?
For those watching at home on the YouTube or wherever we have these videos. Where do we have these videos?
You can watch this on Patreon or you can listen to it on Spotify or iTunes.
Right, but if they're watching this, where do they watch it?
I mean, it's posted on YouTube as a private link.
Right.
And they get the private link with their Patreon subscription, and then they can send it to literally anybody. They could send it out to that like mailing list of 100,000 people.
Oh, so they could like they're the cunt back in 1998 who knew how to chip the PS2.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye, they could go and like there could be a group of 3 mates going a pund each. Just kind of one of you get the link and we'll bootleg it.
God, I hope we don't have any fans that working class.
There is an option. You can put it on Vimeo and people have to be logged in to see it on Vimeo, but I just, you know what.
I think eventually...
If you need to do that, do that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't care that much.
I think eventually we'll go free with the videos, but at the moment we should apologise to anyone watching on Patreon because it does... We are in a nice hotel. This is a nice hotel.
It looks like a cracked den.
Aye.
But only because we've took the photos down because it was glaring the lights back at you.
Yeah.
And that, look, get the photo, prove it. It was literally a painting, Natalie. Look at that. There's my wife. It was hanging up behind her, but wherever we'll put the camera, wherever we'll put the lights. We're not a professional outfit, but look, we've got a portable studio, and we're in fucking.
What do you think Natalie looks like?
Aye, kinda.
Aye.
Aye, do you know?
She's got a big thumbnail.
Aye, she's got a big thumbnail. She's got nice full lips. She's got big brown eyes.
Aye.
She's been drawn onto some brown paper.
She's been drawn on to a brown bag, just like she belongs.
I was a bit apprehensive about this video on this podcast. Daniel, I didn't like my haircut.
Aye, me neither.
I really didn't like it. You know what happened?
You went in and went, try your best. They were like, what number would you like? And you were like, I'll have a 3.4. Just, you know what? Make it up. Can you do, instead of me giving you a number, can you just do pi all over my head? And by the time we'd finished, you were like, oh no, that's poo. You did poo all over my head.
We'll let that one slide. We'll let that shit crack.
I could have gone way worse instead. He just did a number 2 in your head. That was the easier way. I did a mathematical poo joke.
That is true, and I do like maths. You do know how to appeal to us, even though I did pie you one time when you tried to appeal to me maths. Pied you.
Yeah, no, got that.
Thanks, mate. Because he's hungry. So my haircut.
Aye.
I went into
a new hairdresser, his first try.
Look, I went to the hairdressers I normally go into, and the shutters were down. Apparently not open on a Saturday. Hairdressers shut on Saturday? You can only go in when you're at work, apparently. to my barbers.
Aye.
Which is good for me because I'm fucking off through the day.
Aye.
Perfect for me. I walk in fucking 3 o'clock on a Tuesday and I read Barbara.
I do get proper cunty when anyone takes a Saturday off that's not me.
Aye.
I'm like, what are you doing? What, you couldn't employ someone else?
Well,
No wonder you're not a fucking franchise. And do you know why you're not a fucking franchise? It's because you're shut on a fucking Saturday.
Aye, why would you be shut when everyone else is off? That's when business is booming.
Open it, fuck it up. Employ someone fucking else. This is unforgivable. This isn't capitalism. This isn't like capitalism is meant to be.
This is churchism.
Aye.
This is fucking.
This is meant to be open the entire fucking time. If capitalism was as good as it's fucking meant to be, you would be open 24 hours a day. There would be a different employee here in every 8 hours. They'd all have the same level of fucking energy. They'd all be getting paid the same, and they'd all have their own side businesses.
How is anything shut if there's people unemployed?
Aye.
Because that means there's job opportunity. Because you have to shut because you haven't got the manpower.
Aye.
It can't be because you didn't want business. Right. Anyway, shutters were doing. And I went to the...
And you went, fuck it, what I'll do is I'll open the shutters slightly and I'll put my fringe under and I'll just slam it down really hard and I'll chop my fringe off. And because it was at the hairdressers, that'll count as going to the hairdressers.
I done it with a broken bottle. Done it with a fucking...
What a shame you didn't have anything to drink afterwards.
I done it with
after seeing the job you'd done.
I done it with a light and a can of deodorant. Fuck's sake, man. I went in. This is where you know...
Wait, have you got anyone new? Is there like a trainee anywhere? Like, is there anyone? Who's that cunt sharing the bush out the back? I know he doesn't work here technically, but he works within the business. You're employing him technically. Therefore, by osmosis, he must be a hairdresser. Can he do it?
I get him drunk. Get him drunk, spin him run 10 times, and just push him in my general direction with the scissors. Fucking cunt, man. This cunt, right? I come in, Geordie accent, right?
Aye.
It's pretty obvious where I'm from.
Aye.
Right? And I'm like, I'll have a number 4 back and sides, and I get my fingers on the top of my hair, and I'm like, and get about that much off top. And as I'm talking to him, cunt looks out at his phone on the shelf. I hadn't even noticed this, right? Celebrates the Man United goal against Newcastle.
Hold on. And I hate to do this. This isn't a dig, but which one?
Ronaldo's first goal, opening goal.
Aye.
44 minutes in, or whatever it was, right?
Aye.
I'm like, oh, that's against my team, that.
Man United fan in Glasgow.
Well, he was Turkish. And look, can I just put something here?
I don't forgive him for that.
Yeah, but however, Man United have got
said the Chelsea fan living in Edinburgh.
Man United have got incredible reach. They've got massive communities of fans.
Man, I agree, and this is the one thing I've always fucking like. Don't get me wrong. When I initially started fucking supporting Chelsea, I was absolutely a glory hunter because I was sick of supporting Hibs, East Fife, and Scotland, and I needed some joy in my life. And 14-year-old Daniel Sloss just decided that he was going to pick a fucking team, and it was going to be Chelsea because
Jose Mourinho was in the papers a lot at the time.
He had a lot of time, and I was born in London, and I was like that a lot. And people go, "You're a glory hunter," and I'm like, "Fine, man, call me a fucking glory hunter, but as long as you go to Africa and to every single African child wearing a second or third hand bit of clothing that has Chelsea on it, you do the same thing to me that you do the same thing to them that you do to me. Go, you glory hunting little piece of shit. You glory. I don't understand. I'm just trying to get
support your local team, man. Go and fucking support Partizan El Congo.
I go support the Ivory Coast, who actually
they're playing in their bare feet and that.
A very good team, and Drogba actually entered a civil war.
That's a country though, isn't it? It's not like a local club.
To be fair, when Drogba ended the civil war in the Ivory Coast, I do actually think that was between the two local teams, but I don't know who they were. I'm going to assume.
I think we should look into that because that's really interesting. That Didier Drogba just was like, you know what? I love Gaza, but he couldn't even stop Raoul Motor. Yeah, Didier Drogba walked into guerrilla warfare and just went, lads, man, fishing, chicken, bag of beers.
Aye.
And everyone just went, oh, Didier! Didier!
Aye.
And,
For
aye.
those that don't know, Ivory Coast was in a civil war, and Didier Drogba, the Chelsea legend, one of the greatest players to grace the Premier League, scored in 10 more finals than Thierry Henry did, who scored in 0 finals in his entire career because he was a seasoned player and not a big game player.
The curse of the bottler.
Aye. He should have played for Tottenham, actually, now that I think about it, not scoring in any single final. Thierry Henry was truly a Tottenham player at heart.
Aye. You know what? He should have been in the same breath as like Ronaldo and Messi and all that. If like, you know, he turned up when anybody was watching.
But did you not see him score that hat-trick against...
Won a World Cup.
I think Thierry Henry...
Did he win a World Cup?
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah,
98?
98, yeah.
98?
Yeah.
Was that Henry?
Yeah.
I'm really like...
now but you've said it in such a way now that I doubt... Hold on, let me Google it. You've made me doubt myself now. He absolutely was a World Cup winner. He definitely fucking was.
I don't know why I felt like he was like he must have been quite young at the time. I feel like he was a generation after that. I mean,
No, there he is.
There we go. Of course he is. That's why I said it. You know, trust your instincts. Trust your gut, Humphreys.
Aye.
It's always been good to you.
But he also didn't score in that final.
No, he never.
No,
does. He never does.
never scores in a final.
Are we doing this podcast just for Ryan Cullen, just to make him square? Was this all this is?
Ryan Cullen doesn't listen to this podcast unless he's on it. Much like me.
Baldy! He's pricked up somewhere.
Aye.
You think, huh? So Didier Drogba, let's just, because we don't know what happened, let's paint the picture of what happened, right? Like, they were facing up against each other. There was the Ivory Coast and the Ivory mainland were like at either side of the battlefield. And they were about to go in, and then Didier Drogba just rode in between them on his clothes horse.
The elephant is the national animal of the Ivory Coast. So
Right. His clothes elephant.
Yeah,
His clothes
so,
elephant.
yeah. You can dry loads of clothes on it.
So many clothes
So
on a
many
clothes
clothes. Aye. Lots of Man United and Liverpool shirts.
What got us onto this? I'm in the Barbers, right? He fucking celebrates a Man United goal, and I'm like, you know what? Have your celebration. Like, it's Ronaldo's big day and all that, right? I'm fucking chuffed. We got to 45 minutes with 0-0. Mm-hmm. Have it. I thought it was going to be worse than this. And I don't know if we just thought I was the enemy. But you know what? This is the thing. Being anti-racist is spotting racism in yourself. And every time I walk into the Turkish barbers, I spot racism in myself.
Oh, man. But
this is the racism. This is what the racism is. I'm like, I'm going to ask for something and I'm going to get whatever the fuck he gives everybody. It's a weird racism, but I knew it was going to happen before I sat down in his swivelly chair, right? And I fucking get to... that's when it's weirdly loaded, that he had a swivelly chair.
My favourite thing about Turkish barbers is, and I love them, I love the efficiency of them, I love the speed of them, I love...
Oh, you're in and out. At a cost.
Aye. I love the fact that they don't talk to you, they don't care about your fucking day, they're not...
They don't care about what team you support.
Aye, they do the... Now... But it's random selection about what you want. But what I also love is there's just all these photos of haircuts that they're not capable of doing.
Never gonna do.
Didn't do them.
They've got lads with crop circles on their head. They're fucking...
They're like, hey, here's Beckham's 1990 World Cup haircut, and you're like, can you do that? And they're like, oh no,
they've got Fellini's up there.
It's just a haircut, and we do haircuts. So it would be like going to a restaurant and just them showing you pictures of meals that other restaurants do, and you're like, that looks class, and they're like, we bet it is. Do you want a sandwich?
No matter which one you point at. No matter which one you point at, you're going to get whatever the fuck the chef makes every day for everybody. So...
That's why I went for a Kurdish barber. My Kurdish barber. Cara, what's his name?
Creed.
Thank you.
Cream.
Creed. He's a Kurdish barber, and I know he's Kurdish because I made the mistake of
Strong
one
name.
time calling him Turkish, and he nearly slipped.
He's like, do you want a Turkish haircut? Is that what you want? Is that why you're here?
And he started garroting my neck and cutting me fucking head off. Man, calling a Kurd a Turk is like calling a Scotsman an Englishman. It's just not on. But the reason I love Creed so much is I walk in, he knows what I want. Well, he knows what he wants to do to my head. And he sits me down. He doesn't say a fucking word to me. And then at the end, he'll always go, do you want your nose hair done? And he'll get a lighter and a can of aerosol, and I'll scream and he'll go, ha, gay, and then let me leave for a $5.
I remember the one in Australia that made us open my mouth. He was doing my hair and he was doing my eyebrows. Now he was like, open your mouth, and he went, what did you think I was going to do? And then I watched him do the same joke on you.
Aye, and I didn't.
You didn't open your mouth?
No, why would I?
Already opened. That's how you have all your haircuts.
That's when he was dipping his comb, keeping it wet.
So the fucker, he'd done the 4. He went in with a 4. The sides were good. In fact, the length that was on the top when he'd done the 4, I was like, I could walk away like that actually. And then he took a bit off the top, and I was like, well, I did ask for some off the top, and it does look alright now. And then he went back to the sides and took the sides doing, and then took the top doing. And I was like, I was too far gone when I was like, oh, do I have to say when? Because when ages ago, when left yonks ago.
Oh fuck, what's the past tense of when? Oh fuck, when is past tense? Fuck, fuck.
Damn it.
Oh no, where? What? Why? Oh no, whence? When forth?
I'm like, are you getting paid per ounce on how much hair you take off my head here?
Because if so, can you do me arsehole? I'll make us both millionaires.
So it's one of them where they give you, this is what they do. They'll go and like, it'll not just be like a flat tenner,
Aye.
right? It'll be like 12 quid because you're super likely to go. There's 15, keep the change.
Creed gets 20 all the time.
Wait, you know what? I'm not adverse to the keep the change.
Man,
Right.
I pay for speed. Mm-hmm. I pay for speed from Creed.
If you're a dealer.
Like,
He's also a dealer.
But when I used to do back in the day when I had to do fucking Adventures of Daniel, they sent me to Vidal Sassoon because they wanted me to get my fucking hair done properly there for TV, and it took an hour and a half, and it looked, I'm going to say at best 6% different than when I walked in.
Emperor's new clothes sometimes.
Oh, it was the most
super duper
exhausting
haircut.
fucking thing, man. All I want that it's like a haircut should be like the prime airport experience, right? Which is there's not a single fucking word said to you. You walk in, you show them a bit of information, and they go, They take what they need to take, and then you fuck off, and that is it. Quick, efficient, done. Speaking to, why would I give?
You know what? If you've got a rapport with your hairdresser, when I was in
I
London,
do have a rapport with Creed. We don't
that's
say
a
anything to
rapport.
each other.
I used to have a good old catch up with my hairdresser. When I was in London, I went to the Tony and Guy. It was one of the closest ones. I could trust her. It was costing us a bit more, but she's done a great job of us. And plus, you get a bit more of a hair wash and a fucking heat scalp massage, and they'll give you a head wank and that.
Aye.
And I was in it for the fucking pamper day. Me, I had a spa day and I had a catch up with my pal. I was willing to pay the extra bubble for that.
The extra what?
Bubble money? You've never carved money, bubble?
Never in my fucking life.
I never have that. I haven't told you actually. I'm making this question myself. I've called it bubble before. I've heard like people like Rouge and that'll call it bubble.
Oh, people who've never had money. Why are you trusting them to
Double
tell you?
bubbles when you're on extra cash at work. You're on extra cash at work. You're on double bubble.
Is that true? I don't know. I've not struggled financially, so I wouldn't.
You're fucking I've got all the best tech in the game, and you'll still find ways to clatter a bootleg. Honestly, fucking spend hundreds of our money on fucking sorting this tech out.
I need to drink. Do you want me to be happy to?
You can do it, just not at their expense. I knew he was going to charge us like £12, thinking I'd make him keep the change. I was like, fucking counting them 3 coins into my hand. I'd rather chuck them out of the road than fucking put them in your pocket, mate. He held up the back of the mirror, man, you know, they hold the mirror up at the back of the heat. I didn't even look at it.
Aye.
I was like, I've seen the front. I've seen enough.
Just let's move on to our next segment.
Pincer!
Oh, no.
Nice!
Oh,
nice! My
sorry.
favourite topic.
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't know I made new buttons.
I didn't know you made new buttons. So now we're on the pincers thing accidentally. God, Jesus! I feel like somebody that was trying to do a news report and then 9/11 happened, and you're like, oh God, I had such a good story.
I had such a scoop.
But some.
What do you think the news stories were on 9/11?
I know exactly what they were because I was watching the videos yesterday. I love watching 9/11
No,
videos
because
of
the
9/11.
9/11 news stories weren't 9/11.
No. But when you watch the 9/11 news footage, if you watch the live coverage,
You can see what they were talking about. That they cut away from.
man, there's a bunch of people on CNN like, it's a beautiful morning. We're all out in the streets and we're talking about there's this big charity fair that we're doing.
We're about to hand you over to such and such, won a beauty pageant and all that, and like everyone's about to have that moment in the sun.
And then George Bush and the rest of the Jews were like, do it now. Send them in. Send in the missiles disguised as airplanes. Fly them into the building. Destroy it.
They're about to send the cameras to the summer fete.
Sorry, I meant this section. His girlfriend picked his dog. His girlfriend picked his dog.
I fucking love my dog.
Aye.
I'd die for it, I'm not exaggerating. I've tried.
Aye.
I've tried killing myself. I'll tell you how I feel. You know how you get people that'll be like, I don't believe in hypnotism. Hypnotism's fake. Everyone's fake.
Hypnotism is fake, and every hypnotist is a rapist, bar none.
Right. So take you, for example, who has that stance on hypnotism.
That it's not real. And the only reason hypnotism works, hypnotism only works on people that are stupid enough to be hypnotized. Like there is genuine scientific studies, which is if you do not believe in hypnotism, it is impossible, regardless of how good air quotes hypnosis is, you cannot be hypnotized. It is directly related to how gullible and thick you are as a person. That is scientifically proven. Anyone who believes in hypnosis is beyond stupid, and every hypnotist is a rapist.
Say it again. Preach. Agree with you, less violently.
Aye.
Less violently, but I'm on the same page.
Aye.
So take you, for example, and how you feel about hypnotism. Imagine how you would feel if you just happened to find yourself on stage clucking like a chicken. That's how I feel about the way I've...
Do you love your dog?
I fucking love me dog. She's fucking mint, man. What a girl. Oh my God.
Peggy, short for Pegs Me in the Arse.
Short for Margaret.
No, short because she's got little legs.
Short because she's got tiny little cute little legs. That she licks clean.
She licks her legs,
She
does
licks her legs clean, aye. You know what? Because we're potty training her, so you have to take her out like every hour. Every time she sniffs the ground.
I'm sorry, potty training?
Well, you're not teaching them how to shit outside.
Right.
Oh, I'm just trying to I'm trying to be a bit of decorum, in front of our guests. So every time I bring her in, she licks her paws clean. And I'm taking her out again all the time, and I'm like, she's just finished.
She licks her paws clean before she comes in the house?
Yeah, after she comes in. She comes in, just has like a little lick of her paws and that.
Oh, is that like her version of like wiping her feet because she doesn't know how to use a doormat?
Aye, yeah. Sometimes I give her a hand, I get in with wet wipes.
I thought you meant you were licking her paws. Like one of those.
I'm not far off. I'm not far off licking her paws with her. Yeah, bunk lie, I'll do that. You watch the tennis. Oh, we watched the tennis the other day.
Aye.
We're both watching the telly because she's watching it because fucking I'm watching it.
Because there's a ball.
Aye.
And you're watching it because there's two teenage girls. And you're like, oh, we're both interested.
Look, enough about perving on teenagers playing tennis, more about me dog.
Aye.
Right. Just start from the beginning.
Please do.
This is going to be a 2-hour podcast.
Uh-huh.
So we arrive at Humpreyspoo.
The
dog farm, where they make the battery dogs. The beautiful bit of land where the lovely people at Humpreyspoo create the bestest, goodest girls. We'll go in.
And did either you or Natalie mention to them, you're like, because it's so funny because our surname is this is so funny. You should hear this. Our surname is Humphreys, and we're getting a cavapoo. And
do you know what day it is? Do you know what day it is? It's our anniversary. And you know, because we got married in Ibiza, our actual anniversary when we got the paperwork done was the 23rd of June when Peggy was born. So both dates are the same.
I hope you hate yourself. I know.
I didn't do that, but that is how it lined up. And I am going to the guy. Right, I grabbed him by the head and I'm like, I don't believe in fate.
Or hypnosis. Daddy would kill me if he found that out.
This isn't meant to be. But just enjoy the coincidence as an atheist, okay?
Aye. You know how women should enjoy astrology in that we just admit that we enjoy coincidences as opposed to being like, oh, it must be fate. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yes. So yes, we did bring that up.
And were they like...
It was like, can I just get the money?
They were like, bring out number 7364.
So they brought out 7364, who I've now called Peggy, and she was bleeding.
She was bleeding?
She was bleeding.
She had a period that young.
Oh, mate, I walked in. She had a little tussle with her litter mate. And accidents happened. She just cut her paw. It wasn't much, right? It was just
But to be fair, when you weigh 17 grams and you lose 2 grams of blood, that's
like...
I reckon they measure blood in litres.
Like a 90 of body weight.
Aye, not grams.
So...
Be weird if you're just weighing blood. That's not how doctors do it. She's lost a lot of blood. How much? Oh,
about a stone and a half. So she's got a paw, and he's dealing with that, and like he's dabbing it, and she's taking it well, but then he puts her on Natalie's knee, and she just starts trembling like a leaf, right?
Aye.
And my whole thing wasn't like, oh bless her, she's scared. It was like, oh for fuck's sake, Danny's right. Danny's right. I've corrected this $2,500 for a coward. I could have just bought a mirror for a $5
and showed it to Natalie.
Had an angle pointing at me. She was like trembling, and then just something switched where she was just like, I'm not scared now, I'm cool, and then just started like licking up with Natalie, and she was like, you're cool, you're fam, you're gang, you can stay.
Aye. Oh, she was speaking in the hard gangster language, was she?
She kissed her teeth. Like, alright, blood. Then put her on my knee. She give it the same beans. Had a little tremble for a bit.
Aye.
And then gives a lick. Was that right? And then we just had a little chat and all that, and talked about like care, how to go on, like feeding, potty training, and all that sort of what, like, you know.
Wait, you talking to the dog about this?
Aye, the guy had left ages ago, and he's
Oh, right, sorry, right, it's not right. Sorry, I thought you were like, so Peggy, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take you in the car. We're not going to put a seatbelt on you because they don't fit dogs.
You should be jotting this down, by the way.
Aye, can you not write yet?
Aye, just use your blood. Oh, you've been thinking about bleeding. My poor heart. So we get out in the car, right? And she's alright. She's just confused. She's looking around like, I don't know what this is. I've never seen this alien world before. I'm being abducted, but I think you'll all agree that I'm handling it pretty well. This is her internal monologue that I'm projecting upon her. And I'm driving along out the country roads, and Natalie's like, oh, she's licking my hand. And I look up, and she's licking Natalie's hand, but Natalie hasn't had a look to watch the licking of the hand. Poppy had spewed all over her hand and was just eating it back up. Poppy, did I call her Poppy?
You did.
Call her Poppy. Peggy.
That's a good way of doing it. Like, if you spew up, it is your responsibility to clean it up. And that's a rule that not enough humans do. A lot of humans just spew and then go, that's the bar staff's problem. So
I try to, like, you know how...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've never been at a bar and spewed. and gone, leave the mop.
Have got
Have
this.
you got a straw?
But that's why I try to spin it. You know, I like to spin. I'm like, this isn't like a trembly, spewy dog. This is like a rugby lad. Rugby lads would spew up into a pint glass and then down it.
Aye.
Right. This is a squatty. I've got a squatty of a dog.
But it's not spewed because it was drunk. It's spewed because it was nervous and scared of
It was
a car.
a motion
And if you were driving a car, driving it at max 47 miles an hour. Like, I don't even think you can get travel sick at that speed.
But Daniel, you and Natalie both know I can drive slow erratically. It's a real skill.
Like, if you're at one point, Piggy must have been looking out. She's like, I've seen other dogs overtake us and not in cars. I've seen people walk their dogs past us. I thought this car was to try and get me closer to the stick that somebody threw, but somehow you've been slower than all the other dogs in my family.
So it got out. Basically, what I'm saying is Peggy got out and walked and beat her home.
And she guided you in like in one of those air marshals. Yeah.
Whoa, stop. Whoa, you gotta hit the bin. Can't you hit the bins?
Aye.
You hit the bins. So after the spew, which was fine, like it was just kibble. It didn't like stink the car out. It was kind of dry-ish, right? Like I ended up hoovering it up. Like it didn't create too much mess, right? But that's one of your worries if you're travelling with a dog, is it's going to do that. That was fucking out the window. And then she was just clashed. She was just like looking around, a bit confused, but like happy. And then we're getting to the house.
You say that like if I had, and again, I don't mean this is derogatory, but if I had a real dog and a real dog had spewed in my car, I would be worried about that. Your dog could explode and I could hoover up the mess.
Oh yeah, like I wouldn't need to turn up at the...
Everything's smaller.
If Peggy exploded, I would turn up at the Wolf's house and Harvey Keitel would handstand gan, get the flannel. Get the flannel.
I'll just, man, do you have a used toothbrush? Because that's how I'll get her off the road. I know she was run over, I know you're traumatized, but do you have like a teaspoon? A teaspoon and just the rough end of a shoehorn, and that'll be enough.
So I get her back, and we'll get out the car, and Natalie sits in the garden, because we'll just take her into the garden straight away. She's like, she's going to need a pee. She's held on. Just, will you stop doing that, man? Stop banging your glass doing off. Just
Was it banging?
You haven't got your headphones on here.
No, I don't, sorry. I can't express to you how much I don't listen to the podcast, even when it's happening.
So, Ashley needs a pee, so we're going into the garden thinking like she's going to wander around the grass. She's never been on grass before. It's like a new texture, it's a new thing. And she just stayed on Natalie's knee quite contently, like, oh, this is where I live now. Yeah. This is my new reality that I'm accepting. And she stayed there for like a good 15 minutes before she started having a mooch around and go on the grass. And just from that moment onwards, just watching the lass grow in confidence and just explore and just discover new things. It's just like, considering I thought I'd picked up this trembly little spewy pooch, she's just got so much swagger. she's got the biggest balls I've ever seen on a lassie. She's got heart.
The way you talk about it.
She's a gangster.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, I'm making fun of you because of our previous stances you've taken. I know you do. Of course you do. It's a fucking dog.
And but that's not how I'm going to sound like every other dog owner here who I've took the piss out of for like the last 5 years of podcast.
5 years?
Of podcast. But she's the goodest girl. So, let's talk about some of the funny things she's done.
Sure.
Right. So, as we've mentioned before on the podcast, she grew up listening to like loud noises and motorboat noises and fireworks and gunshots. Right. She's not like...
Just so she knew what would happen if she was bad.
She's not easily startled. Like, if you're clattering a boot off, a dog's barking next door, a motorbike goes by out like that, right? She'll have a look. She's not deaf. She'll look to see what's going on, but she's not a fanny, right? And Natalie's like, how am I gonna work out in the kitchen now? Because this is where she works out every morning. She's like, I can't come into the kitchen and just start jumping around in the kitchen.
Yeah, of course, because that's
dogs
just, like, because even if you've got a well-trained dog, if you start being energetic around a dog, the dog's like, oh, great! What are we doing? We're being energetic together, like.
And she's so underfoot. She wants to be by me feet all of the time. If I sit down somewhere, it's a matter of time before she comes and sits down at my feet and just looks up at us.
She's just preparing herself to be a slipper.
Aye, she honestly, she's so content staring at us, and like not
It makes you resent Natalie.
not wanting anything. She doesn't like. Sometimes you leave enough for her treat, and she's like, "Nah, I'm good." Just looking at you. She just looks at us. She'll just get right up into my face. So sometimes I'll be on the couch and she'll be at the other end of the couch. I'll let her on the couch. You cannot not. Right, this is the deal. If I haven't let her on the couch, I'm spending the rest of my life on the floor. You understand that? Right? And she'll never jump up to be on the couch. You scoop her up and put her there yourself. She never really wants. She never wants for anything. She never. You can eat your dinner right next to her, and she's not trying to get a piece of your dinner.
Aye.
She doesn't want for shit.
Aye. But that's in the same way that if I were to arrive at a giant's house and he was sitting on a couch and be like, "There's no way I'm getting up on that fucking footstool, and there's no way I can eat a potato that big."
And plus, just why are you eating a Scotch egg? I don't like Scotch eggs. Can you not get some good food so I can at least get excited by your meal? I don't know what's going to happen.
Can you eat that and then spew that back up, and I'll let you know what I think, because
I've never been at a dinner table in a friend's house who's got a dog without the dog coming and looking at your first scraps under the table, right? I've never seen a dog that doesn't do that. Now,
you've met terrible dogs.
I've met every dog.
No,
all of them.
I will tell you this. One of the reasons I'm fucking so strict on what a dog should be like is my mum and dad know how to train dogs like nothing else. Our dog Sooty, who was, you met Sooty.
I love Sooty, yeah. Aye. Sooty was chill.
Sooty was great because Sooty knew she wasn't allowed to jump up, but she also loved you very much.
She kept whispering in my ear.
Aye. So what was it? If you came in the house, she wanted to.
Sooty whispered in people's ears.
Oh, because of the hand. I got it. Sorry, it took me a bit while. But you'd come in the house and she'd be at the front door and she'd be so excited to see you, but she knows she's not allowed to jump up, so she'd run over to the stairs because she knew the loophole that if you were sitting down on the stairs, she was allowed to jump up because you're not standing. Mm-hmm. So you take your shoes off and she'd just come over and be like, "Could you fucking hurry up and take your fucking shoes off so I can run over there and cuddle you?" She was dead
restrained.
Restrained.
I love restraint. The dog.
She knew the rules. See, the thing about Sooty was never allowed in the kitchen, and she acted as if there was a fucking barrier there. She'd peer in occasionally, but would never dare for a fucking second step foot in the kitchen, because the point of dogs is they have to know their dogs. Mm-hmm. If you are raising a dog as a child, you are desperate to be a parent, but you don't love your partner enough to try. And that's why you raise your dog like a child.
Aye. Yes.
Raise your dog like a dog, and you're a dog owner.
And that's why the question I was going to ask is, do they all start default? They're not trying to get my food because they don't associate me sitting at a table with food and me sitting down and eating. Well, of course, they're not stupid. They see the thing going into my mouth. They're not dumb, right? But they've got their set meals. They've got their kibble that they have. They've got their treats that you give them occasionally, right?
They don't get
the minute food. I start giving them my food, do they then see me eating my food and try and get some? Could you come and throw a hand grenade into my house by coming in and giving Peggy a bit of a sandwich? And then all of a sudden I got a sandwich, and then Peggy's like, "I remember this sandwich sustenance."
Good potentially. It depends on the dog, but it would also be...
Because I want to keep her this way. Whatever the fuck software she's got that makes her not give a fuck about what I'm eating, that is some fucking...
Don't give her any scraps then.
That is
Make
premium
sure-
dog software,
yeah.
that, like...
Make sure she understands that her food is her food and your food is your food.
Because I was prepared for, I'm gonna have to try and tell her every time I eat. That,
John
like,
Mulaney, before he stabbed his wife in the back, used to have a really good bit about them training a dog together.
John Mulaney, who does all the shows about his beautiful, loving, caring wife, did he do a number on her?
We don't know the reasons why they got divorced. John Mulaney is a superb, brilliant comedian.
He's one of my favourites.
It's genuinely.
Aye.
I can't name a single one of his specials that I don't enjoy. I think Big Mouth is exceptional.
Aye.
And I think it's such an important show. Like, I wish
Enjoying his comedy really relied on him loving his wife. A little bit.
Yeah,
It was like, it was wholesome as fuck.
Yep.
You know? It's like, Louis C.K., his stuff was funny until you find out that he swings his dick at women. And then you're like, that's not that funny anymore.
Aye. John Mulaney, no. I think John Mulaney, we don't... Look, people are casting a lot of shade on John Mulaney.
Aye.
because
And
they don't-
the bloke who, man,
we don't know this is what, and also
what am I
and
doing?
he's an addict. So I mean, I think it's like booze and coke.
Weirdly, one of the mental health issues that still isn't like embraced by, like, people even look at it as like, oh, mental health issues are looked at as like, oh, look at a druggy.
Aye.
Like it still hasn't been
any form of addiction, because people just it's got to be
people still think you're
heroin.
weak.
Yeah, it's got to be heroin or booze, or they don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's that thing of like, oh man, you're addicted to something that's not addictive. Right? They go, well, it's just willpower, and you go, well, yeah, kind of, but you understand that the whole point of addiction is like, it's not logical. That's the definition of it.
Yeah. Can you start to see that I do have a problem with willpower? If this is how I'm living my life.
Look, I'm just jealous that John Mulaney is a better comic than me, and got to have sex with Olivia Munn.
Is that? I don't know who that is.
You would know it if I showed you. Did you ever watch The Newsroom?
Is that the one with Jeff Bridges? Not Jeff Bridges. Not Jeff Bridges.
But I know exactly what you're talking
Jeff,
about.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
Everyone's shouting it at the podcast.
Yes.
It's what they do.
Jeff Dunham.
Jeffrey Dunham. Who's all
Jeffrey
Dunham.
Dahmer.
It's not.
It's Jeffrey
I just
Dahmer.
agreed with you that Jeff Dunham.
I know, I'm playing.
Yeah, he's in New. He's in Dumb and Dumber
It's
with his,
Jeffrey
with his
Dahmer.
puppet.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Who is it though? It's not Jeffrey Dahmer. That's it.
They know his name. They don't care. We don't need to arrive there. They'll work out.
Jeff. No God.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
They don't care. It doesn't matter. They'll work out.
Jeffrey
We can
from
move on.
Rainbow.
She's Sloane in that, and she's very, very good.
I can't mind it.
Oh well, it's excellent.
Dev Patel was in that as well, wasn't
He was,
he? Yes.
as was Alison something, who is, and I don't like saying this because it's a cruel thing to say. What's an unattractive lady? She has too round a face, and every time she was on screen, I was like, "That's not."
You can't.
Who let you be on television?
You can't say someone's a munter anymore, but I still think it'll nod me head.
Aye, you can. Well, man, but this is
my
when,
head still gets munter.
But this
it's
is
like
when-
it's not like you know.
but you feel bad, man. This is when fucking empathy comes in, right?
You know, I didn't doubt that people have looked at me and thought munter.
Aye,
But I've also got that.
man. There's some people out there which is like, we shouldn't just
Don't just of course that. Hold on a minute.
no, we shouldn't judge people based on their looks, right? We shouldn't judge people. We should fucking be better at that as a society. But Frank Ribery is fucking rancid, though. He's a fucking rancid man that I shouldn't have to fucking look at, and I shouldn't think that. I shouldn't think that he's an ugly, ugly man. But I do.
Beauty is subjective. But when it's subjective,
No, it's not.
when it's subjective,
No, it's not.
What I'm just saying is, if it's subjective for the majority of people in the same very way, then it starts becoming by proxy objective.
beauty is subjective to 5% of people. It's like most of us agree with what, and they've done science experiments, and blind people also find attractive people attractive and ugly people fucking ugly. But one interesting thing we know about psychology is deep down your subconscious knows how attractive you are and will only make you attracted to people in the same league as you, which is why we're like, oh, you know, there's no thing. But beauty is... people would love it to be like, oh, it's all done by the media. It's not. Some people are fucking rancid to look at. Some people are genuine chores for the fucking eyes to look at.
Yeah. Like, you know, you wouldn't go and, like, you wouldn't fart and go and smells are subjective. And look, it's fine. It's fine. I just like I just work on other parts of my character.
Rebel Wilson is objectively rancid.
You've met her. You've Zoomed her.
I've Zoomed her. Cara laughed so hard when she found I was going to... Didn't you? Cara laughed so hard when she found out that I was going to be on Graham Norton with Rebel Wilson, because for 3 years of our relationship beforehand, anytime Rebel Wilson was in television, I would turn to Cara and go, I fucking hate Rebel Wilson. Being fat and ugly is not a talent. She's not a good actress, she's not a good singer, and she's not funny. Like, Bridesmaids is to me, is one of the funniest movies in the world.
Very good.
I think it's such a funny movie. The least funny bit of that movie is every scene Rebel Wilson is in. Like, her whole character, it's like when Joey was at his worst.
Aye.
Like, so you just know how to play beyond dumb.
Aye.
And also, you're horrendous to look at what happens.
You're just embracing being the hofer.
Oh God. And I say this as not the most attractive man in the world. Like this, I understand the irony that we both know that this is fucking steeped in, but...
What was my point?
Your dog.
So I was in the kitchen.
Speaking of ugly pictures.
I was in the kitchen and Natalie was like, how am I going to do my workout? This is where I do my workout. I want to excite her and she's going to be jumping up with us if she gets under foot. Because like I say, she just like, she wants to be at your feet all the time. That's how we're going to be at the dinner table. She's at my feet, not jumping up for me dinner, just chilling, just being close to her and that. And I was like, right, let's just do a practice now. She's in her dog bed. And I'm like, I start doing burpees. And she's looking at us, she's watching us do burpees and that. I start doing push-ups and she's like, oh, this is new, I've never seen him do this before, is this for me?
Let's see, you did an impression of me. Hold on, what's this? You being a dick? You're being a dick? Are you doing me?
Are you getting wide?
What's this about? Do you want me to be you?
Just turns his face inside out. Pink-eyed.
I don't want to push me fucking eyes together.
Do you want us to look like he just chews all its fur off? It's because of my haircut. I start doing star jumps, and obviously that rocks the floorboards a little bit. Like fucking, start getting the vibrations of the star jumps and decide to join in. Leapt up in a full fucking springbok bounce off the bed, landed in a water dish.
Which to her is a full-size Olympic pool.
Knee warning, and now she went full Tom Daly.
She was underwater for 6 seconds.
I had to rescue her. I had to remember my lifeguard training. I had to remember my Concordia days. Fucking, I dived in. Nearly drowned myself. I was fully dressed. So I should fucking jumped in the water. I was fucking hilarious because who knew where she's just chilling, looking at us, watching us dancing. She's like, yeah, fucking, I'm going in the water, me. Can't kill myself. Fucking living with this cunt. Should have couple of them where, oh mate, I come in the first morning because I was worried because we're leaving the crate. It's called a crate, but let's be honest, it's a fucking cage, isn't it? We'll put on a cage our night, and they didn't mind it. Like it's.
Don't listen to any cunt out there that is fucking like, oh, you can't put a dog in a cage.
Mate.
It's a fucking terrible dog owner that doesn't know dog shit about fucking.
Everybody asks us if she's a rescue.
Just lie.
Loaded question.
Just lie.
I just can't. I do lie. I say I fucking I got it from a battery farm. Like I got it from an unethical breeder.
Man, they just need to know. Man, every dog and pet we get in the future, I'm telling people it's a rescue because it just saves. Why didn't you not rescue? Because I didn't want one with PTSD. I didn't want a fucking damaged animal from a previous cunt.
I respect everybody that does it. The world's a better place for everybody that does it. The world needs the people that rescues dogs. I want a dog with pristine software.
I want a fresh dog.
I want a fresh hard drive that I can fucking it's I want the dog to have the best start.
Look, some of us go to cinemas and the rest of us go to Blockbuster, and that's fine. Okay. If you want a Blockbuster dog, have a Blockbuster dog. If it skips a couple of scenes halfway through, you'll be fucking grand. I'm watching it in 4D. I
just didn't understand like how if I decide to have a kid, like anybody would be like, so is it a foster, is it? The foster one.
Aye.
I'd be like, nah, I brought a new one into the world, especially like when there's already ones in the world that are struggling. Like anyway, I'm not getting into it because I really respect people that do it.
Oh, I think really anyone that rescues dogs is great, and they are objectively better than me. But I'm not going to let them know that, and that's why I'm going to lie to be amongst the ranks. Like feminists.
I've been here before.
I'm going to say the thing that gets me less in trouble.
Yes, Rebel Wilson is a munter. Feminism.
Hey, right? If you want to make it fair, let me think of a guy that's a fucking munter. God, there are none. It's time for one of our sponsors.
Pincer! and
Rickets.
And
Baldy!
You have ugly friends. Why do you surround yourself?
Two of those were yours.
Matty's quite handsome now. Matty's like, you know what? He's like someone that could have been handsome.
Cara, would you say Matty was handsome?
I think Matty's handsome.
She says he's alright.
Is Matty hotter than
Not the worst you've ever been with. What do you mean been with?
Oh, the full room? All of the room? Everybody else here?
What do you mean been with?
That was only in my dream.
Do you think Matty's hotter than Danny?
No.
What if he wasn't here? What would you say?
Yes.
There we go.
No, I didn't mean it.
I know you didn't. I've seen Matty.
I've seen him in Hawaii dressed head to toe in clothes because he got so badly burned.
Oh yeah, he did.
He looked like a lobster. Pincer. So, crate training. I thought was going to be a struggle because crate training because
you're training it to pick up crates.
No, you put them in a crate. That's when I was like, that's how the whole thing started. I was like, it's a cage, isn't it? The crate, not so. There's a pen, which is you can put like a mesh fence around. That's the pen. But I put that away mostly. It takes up a lot of space, right? But it's a good place, if you just need to like pop somewhere, like you need to go out the post box or something like that, right? Put the pen out. But the crate, it's somewhere that it sleeps at night. You put its toys in there. You didn't put any water or food in there. Put its bed in there. Eventually, we'll put the bed in.
It's about a shoebox size.
It's like enough room for it to turn around comfortably.
Right, so a shoebox size.
Enough room for it to turn around. We're talking way smaller than a shoebox. Like, come on, we don't want it to piss where it stays. Because if it's too big, it'll piss in one side and stay in the other. So you want it to be small enough. It'll never piss where it stays. But if there's room, it'll piss where it stays because it can stay somewhere else, right?
Yeah. All right. You sound like most American prison systems.
So anyway, I thought it was going to be that, like, as soon as the door closes, it's going to be like, oh, fuck, I'm trapped. Oh, bastard. Crying all night. We're upstairs trying to get to sleep, going, don't answer it, otherwise it'll think crying. Brings us back and it works, and then all of a sudden it fucking cries all the time.
Biggest mistake I ever made with Cara.
Aye.
Anytime she cried, I used to respond to it. Now I just let her weep it out.
Punch her in the tit. She can't show her dad the bruises.
Not unless he subscribes to our OnlyFans.
We're gonna have to put this on a Patreon only.
She's over there.
That mention. Karen, make what drinks, man. Feminism. Can we get a feminism? Can we get a feminism button?
Keep telling you. We'd have to have a woman on the podcast, or I'll not.
And now I can't keep wheeling Gene out every 6 months. So,
like the Republicans do every time. Hey, we don't hate black people. There's one that runs in Georgia. Come on.
I fucking get Candace Owens on.
Oh my God.
So I thought that was going to be a hassle, like putting her to bed, right? So like chuck our toys in the cage and that, and she'll go in of her own accord, and you shut the cage and she'll look around because like the clinking of the metal. But she didn't flip out. Left the room, and I heard her like she was making a couple of squeaks, not like full blown crying on. A couple of squeaks. I could hear the cage rattling where she was maybe like having a little bite of it and that. And then when she realised now what was happening, she just chilled her beans, and I just stayed there around the corner for a bit like this, and I was like, she's alright. I went to bed. She was fine all night.
You were just like a dad dropping his kid off on the first day of school.
It's a bit like that, I mean, I've never had that, but
but I know exactly what they're going through.
Yes. So I went downstairs in the morning. I couldn't wait to get back downstairs. We decided we were going to...
Was it like Christmas when you were young? You were excited to wake up?
Oh, mate, I feel like I can't get up in the morning. There's no one can get us up. I can have a fucking flight and I'll mash snooze until I'm fucking in trouble. Right? Until my day is like an action movie.
Until I knock at the door and go, we're leaving 5 minutes ago.
I like my whole fucking day will start like a fucking literally like a chase scene in like Mad Max Fury Road, right? For us to just get that extra fucking inch of sleep out of now. I am decided to measure out sleep in Imperial,
not
length measurements.
Not
Imperial,
the already established method of measuring time in minutes, seconds, and/or hours. Yeah, just an inch of sleep.
So I had an extra inch of sleep. When I woke up and I had a dog to go downstairs to, fuck man, I had such a spring in my step. I ran down the stairs like a dog. And I got in, right? I'm just in my pyjama bottoms, because that's how I roll. I'm just a pyjama bottoms kind of guy, right? And I let out a cage, goes in the fucking garden, has a pee and all that, and I put up breakfast out, and she has a breakfast.
What's she have for breakfast?
Kibble.
Kibble?
With a little bit of beef stew. Just, the soft food.
Yeah.
But not loads of it, just mixed in, just to give it a bit of taste.
And texture. My granddad's Sloss, R.I.P., our old dog Lassie used to lose her fucking mind when my granddad would come down and visit, and we could never work out why. Right? We walked her. We didn't treat Lassie badly, but we would walk her. Maybe we wouldn't take her on as long a walks as Grandpa Sloss did, but whenever Grandpa Sloss came down, she would lose her shit.
What did he have in his pocket?
He would microwave her meals for her.
Heat them up.
Would heat them up and stir in some wet.
Unlock the flavours.
So he would heat up the wet food and then in the microwave for like 30 seconds and then stir in some of the biscuits and make sure it was cool enough, obviously, for the dog to eat because they've got different stomachs. But we just didn't work out. And my mum and dad,
I feel like hot stuff's hotter for dogs. Yeah, I like a coffee cup in my hand that was like way cooler. Like it was like towards the end when you nearly ran out. And she kept like licking me cup and like recoiling.
No,
that's
man,
hot.
Well, you got to remember, like dogs come from wolves, and a fresh fucking kill is steaming fucking hot. It's got warm blood in it. It's got warm. It's all fucking hot. So clearly, by microwaving these meals, just something
gives them a taste for
Lassie
you.
Was a Alsatian German Shepherd fucking mix. There was just something fucking. Oh God, this is the best. But neither my mum or my dad were like, we're not microwaving a meal for a fucking dog. Like, I can't bring myself to that stage. But what I'm telling you is, if you want to treat Peggy,
Oh, when I come home.
if you
I
want
want to go fucking nuts when I come home.
aye, if you want
If I want to start getting points on Natalie on the sly.
Natalie's got a couple of days on you at this point,
Aye.
and you must be devastated about that.
Nah, I love them together.
Aye.
I fucking love seeing them together. I
Also,
love
sorry, I interrupted your fucking thing there with.
the food.
Yeah.
All right, so start the day. This is my first full day in the house.
Yeah.
So we're Peggy, right? And she hasn't peed in a crate. She goes outside for her first pee. She eats all her dinner. We'll have our breakfast with her jumping up, right? And then I fucking scoop her up and sit on the couch. Didn't have a top on.
You or the dog?
The dog never has a top on.
Well, but it could have a top on if it went to
Daniel, the dog tried to breastfeed out me nipple. It sucked me nipple. It instantly leaned into me nipple. It thought I was King Charles Spaniel III. It poked at its lips. No teeth. No
Does it not have teeth?
Oh, clearly Mammy must have fucking yelped if she used her teeth.
Does your dog not have teeth?
It has teeth, but not when it's breastfeeding. No old licks and lips.
But it just retracts them.
It's just like, you had to put your palm out for a dog and it's like give it a lick. Without teeth in.
Are you sure it was breastfeeding or was it just
I
licking
don't know.
your nipple?
It went for made to lick my nipple, but how of all the spots? Like what? Oh, wonder what it was you were trying to get out of that. I wonder what pattern forming you've done to make you think that you're going to get a healthy proteinous snack out of old titty here. Couldn't try to breastfeed out of his foot as a dog, fought his mummy.
It was like, oh, normally mum's got 6 nipples down there, but that would require a 6-pack. Oh, no, never mind.
2-pack. Made me so cool. somehow made me so cool for having 2 nipples. 2-pack.
Yeah. Okay.
Ambitions of a writer. So, I should try to breastfeed others. She chews on a bull's cock.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Bull Pizzle.
Bull Pizzle?
Mm-hmm. You get it from Oodles.
Hold on. Tell me that whole sentence again.
You get Bull Pizzle from Oodles.
I've got so many questions.
One of the
Bull Pizzle?
Bull penis.
But is it legitimately...
What it says on the fucking tin, Danny, it's a bull's cock.
But
she loves the bull's cock.
is it called Bull Pizzle?
Bull Pizzle.
Is that the brand name?
That the brand is Oodles, and the item is Bull Pizzle. And she slobbers all over it, and I'll pick it up and I'll have this slimy, saliverous bull penis. And I'll underarm it into a cage.
This is revenge for Pamplona, and I'll feed it to my tiny dog.
So here's me going, ooh, she might get a taste for penis. And I'll be going to the bathroom in the middle of the night with a fucking hard on from shagging. And she might jump up and bite me penis. No, she tried to breastfeed it.
I've got this bull penis here, just to give her a taste for it. So, Matty, feel free to come round whenever you want. You'll be safe. Nay, danger.
Pincer!
Come round. Bull Pizzle.
Bull Pizzle?
There's no way it's called that.
It is. It is. You're going to take me... Unless... I haven't looked at the pack, but unless Natalie made up a belt a lie. Unless Natalie is spinning me a belt a yarn.
Bull Pizzle
and
from Oodles.
You've got to let her have it.
Bull Pizzle.
If she's made that up, you've got to let her have it, like...
But it sounds like when you're having a stroke and you don't know you're having a stroke, but you hear words slightly differently. Oh, my dog eats Bull Pizzle from Oodles. What did you... Huh?
You speaking Norwegian?
I was saying she eats bull penis from Littles. Oh, okay. Say it again. Bull Pizzle from Oodles.
So anyway, it's just choking on a Bull Pizzle.
And also, not to make this too graphic, but a bull penis is longer than the length of your dog.
No, it's about 6 inches.
Also, God, if you're watching, if you're watching on the camera, Kai's impression of what 6 inches means, he must have told Natalie that you had half an inch cock. 6 fucking inches, baby. She takes it all.
I've done the joke wrong, didn't I? I was meant to go 6 inches. I think I 6 inches. Oh, did I ever tell you about you know when we're talking about your most used dad joke?
Aye.
And like it's like I'm going to jump in the shower. Well, you should step in carefully. My most used dad joke is that I pretend loads of time has passed after I've shagged Natalie. Like it'll be like 11 o'clock at night when we start, and when we're finished I'll be like, oh fuck me flight, and I'll pretend to pack. And I fucking overcommit. I overcommit all the time to like, oh fucking hell, it's 6, you got work.
Even though it's like 3 minutes past 11.
Aye, that's the joke.
Great, I enjoy that. That's a fun joke. It's a fun joke.
I let the moment pass. I didn't just dive in. Overshare with my sex life, yeah.
Aye.
But Natalie started doing this thing where she'll just afterwards, like shortly after I finished, she'll go bored. Bored. What if she went, who was that? You know, when someone leaves the dynamic. Who was that? Anyway, overshare.
Me and Cara don't have any sex banter. She just leaves a 50p on me back for the next guy.
Next use of the table.
Do we have any fun having sex? Do we have any fun having sex? No.
Fun.
Aye.
You fell asleep reading a book the other day during sex.
She did in one of the most adorable fucking moments of my life. We were in Santorini, which, because you've spoken so much about our dog, I guess we'll talk about in the Patreon episode.
You hold it.
Aye, we'll talk about it on the next episode. But we were in bed.
Let's just make a long episode. Have we got enough battery on this? Because I haven't got it all plugged in.
I think we do, but also Cara is trying to go to sleep. Cara, shut up. I'll tell you what you're trying to do. Oh my God, if you answer back to me one more time.
You're not trying very hard to sleep, are you?
Aye, because I'll fucking choke you out.
We can help you. We can help you get to sleep if you want. Hey, Dal, watch that in your OnlyFans.
Just so everyone knows, she's laughing at these jokes and
Aye.
We went to Santorini. We had probably one of the best holidays I've ever had.
It looked very good.
It was unbelievable.
It did look glorious.
Oh man, I can't express how what a beautiful. It's such a small island. Like the 20,000 people live there at most.
And I suppose like they've priced out my lot.
Aye.
Is that why you like it? You
Man.
get any of the riffraff there, like?
No, there were no stag do's. There was no like the only hen do's were there were like
Pincer.
the only hen do's there were divorcee hen do's, where it's like, Clarissa, you're better than him. Look at this. Look at the world.
Is it divorcee hen do like it's the divorce party or it's the second marriage?
No, it's
and they're not going large and they're a bit long in the tooth now for a trip to Zante.
The guy that took us from the airport to where we were staying was just like, there are 3 types of people that come to Santorini. They are new couples. They're you fucking hypocrite. They're new couples. They're old couples with kids, and nobody brings kids over the age of 13 because no teenager wants to be on Santorini with their parents.
Nah,
because it's just so beautiful and nice that it's just there to fucking relax. Like,
yeah.
They're like, oh, in Thera there's nightclubs. Man, we saw the nightclubs and they had a capacity of maybe 17 people. And they all closed at midnight.
It's just a bunch of people that booked the wrong holiday.
But there's also like, he's like, you don't get any lad groups coming out here, but you do get lots of groups of girls coming out here. And we were just laughing. So it's like sad single girls that are like, we don't need no man. We come out here to enjoy the beauty of the sea and the ocean.
So they're coming out not to get hassled, you mean?
Yeah, and you don't get hassled. Man, it was one of the most peaceful things I've ever experienced. Where did I start the story?
You were going to tell a story about in Santorini. So you were telling us about your holiday, but like you were going to tell us a particular thing. Was it like 10 minutes into the holiday or something? Was it?
What? Go tell me more, Cara. You can make clues. Oh, they've book reading.
They've fallen asleep in the book.
So we have long days where we sort of like that joyous thing of a holiday where you wake up when you want to wake up. There's no alarm set. Mm-hmm. Like it's the sun comes through the
eat when you want to eat when you're hungry.
Aye, we go out.
You do always settle into a pattern though on them holidays.
Yeah,
like it's funny because you're like, I've got all the fucking freedom in the world, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in like a routine that you like.
Yeah. And I'm drinking because I can drink, and Cara's not drinking for reasons we'll reveal in the next podcast on the Patreon episode. And I go out during we both go out during the day. It's sunny, it's hot, but it's like a nice level of hot. There are so many stray cats there that Cara cheated on Ray. I'm going to say a minimum of 15 times.
Saw the videos.
Like if cats can smell as well as we think we can smell, when Cara goes back, that's a very bitter fat cat that's going to be like, oh.
She was touching so much homeless pussy, I thought it was Elliot Steele in Ibiza.
Write that in your next book, Sarah Pascoe.
Get that doing you.
Aye. Oh, sorry, did you not get a second book commissioned, you cow?
I'm tired.
But I'm currently reading Red Rising, and I know I spoke about it briefly in the last podcast. I got so into the books, right? So into the books, they're such a good I always thought I preferred my fantasy like old school, like orcs, magic shit.
Yeah.
Whereas Red Rising's more futuristic. It's set like
maybe you need to read a couple of the normal standard ones for you to enjoy that one.
Aye.
You know, just to break the concept a little bit.
If you're like me and you like the old school fantasy where it's magic and wizards and stuff, Red Rising, I would say, is the perfect introduction to sci-fi, which I've never really been that fucking interested in, because it combines Greeks and Romans culture and stuff with future. Anyway, I read the first book. I adored it, like to the point where I'm desperate to finish the books just so I can read the first one. I don't really want to read the second and third one again.
You've been reading like mad at the minute as well. You've been like proper chewing through books.
Well, because there's the occasion I go through things where I'm so desperately trying to better myself, like, but I really struggle to better myself because it's really hard to read factual books all the time. I find factual books so interesting, but I can only read them for like an hour and then I need a fucking break. Where if it's fantasy, I can fucking chew through it. In fact, I have to know what
fantasy's still better, man. Fantasy's still living your life through the lens of somebody else. If that person's fictional, you're still going through the empathy of like living another character's existence.
Aye, but it doesn't. It increases your language, and I'm fine with that. But it doesn't increase
your knowledge,
which is an important thing to me as somebody who
unless your knowledge is of fantasy books, and then you can talk all day about it.
No, but that's not real knowledge.
I always thought that, you know, if like somebody's like talking to you about politics and you don't know much about politics, and then you go, oh, do you see the football on the weekend? And then they'll just dismiss it and go, oh, no, I didn't really watch the football. And you're like, I didn't just dismiss you when you talked about politics. Like, I've got knowledge, I've got intelligence, but I just apply it to a different thing. And just because my thing you don't decide has value.
Anyone that's into politics, even no matter, if you're hugely into politics, even if you're a Labour voter, you're a Tory.
You know what? I kind of get to it. The more I delve into politics, the more I get upset with people who I usually like. So to stay out of politics is really healing for my friendships and relationships.
Anyway,
yes.
Red Rising. There's one bit in the third book where something happens, and I got so angry, So angry to the point where I fucking put the book down and I say to Cara, we're going for lunch. And I'm 85% into the book. Like, Kindle tells me...
Angry like Red Wedding, everybody who you love dies.
Oh, yes. In fact, angrier, because Red Wedding happened in fucking book 3 out of 9, allegedly. So I knew there was future. Whereas Red Rising is like a trilogy, which is itself, and then there's another trilogy afterwards, which is the same universe, but some time afterwards. But you could comfortably enjoy the first trilogy and not move on. We are 85% into the first book, and something happens, and I am white hot with rage. Like, I'm screaming. I'm not finishing the book. Like, the author has fucked it. He's fucked it so royally and so badly.
You used the wrong there. It's THEIR, not THERE.
But I, as you said, I read a fair bit when I get in fantasy. The reason Cara reads less than me is because Cara, when she reads, just reads until a book is done. Like, it's a one-setting sort of thing. Like, if she gets into a book...
You don't have a bookmark. You just got a day in the wanna.
Pretty much.
You can't do that, like.
It's madness.
That's like getting in the weekly shop and trying to just plow it into one meal.
But she gets so into the book. Like, I think I get into the books with the fucking passion, like the rage I feel. Mm-hmm. But, like, she will just... fucking chew through a book until it's done because she has to know what happened. So
that's why you don't read as often, because like it's too much of a mouthful.
Yes, because I say to her, I'm like, why don't you get a book for a holiday? She's like, we're only there for 2 days and I want to spend time with you. And I'm like, why don't you read the rest of the book at home? She's like, like, if I start reading the book, I'm going to finish the fucking book. I convinced her, I'm like, look, we're away for 4 days. We've got our own time together. I'm loving the book series I'm reading, so I'm going to want plenty of time. She picks up a book, and I'm just in bed, and I'm reading. And I've genuinely never in my life experienced somebody falling asleep during a book. Falling asleep during a movie, I've done it. I've seen you do it 1,000 times.
You close your eyes and the movie keeps going.
It's still in your head. You can hear, you're getting 50%, 40%, 30% if you want to.
Yeah, a dwindling percentage of the movie is sinking in.
But until it's still gone. And you occasionally open your eyes and you can be like, okay, well, I don't need to. If I hear the lyrics of the scene, I don't need to know the dialogue. Sorry, not the lyrics. If I hear the dialogue of a scene.
You said lyrics though. Now I get it, because you're reading a book, right? And you'll get to the end of a chapter and you'll be like, oh fucking, I didn't read the last couple of pages. And you'll go back and you'll get a paragraph in, and you're a bit more conscious of it this time because you missed it last time. And you're like, none of it's sinking in. I'm going to sleep. And that's how falling asleep in a book works.
100%. That's how I do it. I go, I'm not paying attention anymore. Like, I will stop half mid-sentence and go, too tired, and I know tomorrow I'll just go back 2 pages and I'll fucking catch up. In beds, we're snuggling together. It's one of those lovely moments on holiday. And Santorini is one of the most peaceful places I've ever been. Even when it's busy up on the road, it is a level of calm silence.
You're looking out at the ocean, and the ocean isn't just littered with like water sports and boats, and
there's no beaches.
There's
at least where you are at camp, there's not a beach because you're on a cliff face.
Oh yeah, I had a bit like that in when I mean honeymoon in Mauritius. The balcony of our room was facing onto like just a rock edge and then the sea. So there was a shower on the balcony, and you would just shower naked because you had privacy, because there's just a whole world of nothingness.
If you want to go to a beach in Santorini, there are 3 amazing beaches, and they're all on the south side of the island. If you're on the north side of the island, it's cliff faces or docks, and that's it.
Man.
So it's just so peaceful, and we're just sat there in bed, and I look over, and we're reading together, and I'm like, what an adult relationship that I'm in. And not in it, and I used to shit all over adult relationships. I used to fucking really diminish like these relationships where you were just so comfortable in each other that you could just be in each other's presence. I'm like, oh, well, you just sit reading books together. And now that I'm older,
love that.
It's way better. What are you out there? desperately hounding pussy because your parents or your life doesn't give you enough love that you have to find it from the company of a fucking stranger. And I'm not diminishing that. If you're out there doing that, live that life. That's a good fucking life. I just want you to know.
Send us pictures.
Don't do it forever. Don't do it forever. It's a fucking good life to live for a time, right?
So what you want in your relationship is like what we have on tour, just sitting in bed, reading a book, got with glasses on.
Man, I'd sit there and like, what an adult relationship we're in. God, she's not. She's a slow reader. I know she's stupid.
Aye, but I haven't heard that page turn away. She hasn't stuck her finger in my mouth to turn the page in a while.
Man, she's just asleep reading a book.
She's doing it now. Oh, she's awake. I couldn't see her eyes for the pillow.
But she was just so... She'd literally fallen asleep reading. I can't fathom that.
Aye, is that done you? Does it throw you for a loop?
No, like I've seen it happen, so I know it's real. But look, one of my the big difference between me and Cara that I learned early on in the relationship was when I started going to therapy after the fucking extra, right? And when I'm in therapy, I start getting to the bottom of a lot of my anxieties, a lot of my fears, a lot of my, as much as, you know, I've got this fucking bravado and confidence, which is true and it's me. Like, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm, but because I know
you shy away from things you're not good at.
Yes. Because I know what I'm very good at, I know my weak spots as well.
Or not even shy away from things you're not good at. Say that things you're not good at are shit and people that do it are cunts.
Because I've got to diminish it for my own fucking call. So I go to a couple of fucking therapy sessions. I in a time of my life when I'm being sober as well. So we're getting to all these kinds, and because big thing in my relationship is I want to be honest with Cara all of the time. No matter how bad the honesty is, I want her to know every part.
If you don't like her dress, you want to tell her. If her arse does look big in it.
Which and it looks massive. She's got a big fat arse.
She needs to know.
She's got a big fat arse, and I love shagging it.
What's that off?
That's the Scottish porno. It's the horrible Scottish. It's the horrible Scottish.
It's not the porno. It's the WhatsApp messages, isn't it? The voice memos.
No. That's the Aberdonian guy. Cara, do you remember the Aberdonian guy?
Yeah, that's the hammies.
Hammies. Aye.
Can we get that on the buttons for the next podcast?
We can. The
Scottish porn on the buttons for the next podcast. The
Scottish threesome is the two squaddies that are fucking the Scottish lass, and at one point she's like, "You've got a fat arse and I love shagging it." It's just one of the ones.
It's so just matter of fact. There's no Shakespeare in it. It's just
Ron. It's just Ron. Have you burst? So I've lost my train of thought.
You've got a fat arse, you love shagging it.
I do.
She falls asleep reading books.
No, that was it. Yes, right. So I'm going to therapy, and because I want to be honest with her, and I want her to know exactly how my mind works. Because I'm very privileged to be in.
Don't know how to tell her you still love her sister,
but hate my own. I want to be honest with her all the way through. So whenever I come back from therapy, I want to tell her what I've learned about myself and all these things, and I'll just pour out. I'll be like, so it turns out I'm anxious about this. Turns out I've got my fears about this, and then fucking COVID kicks off, and I'm still in therapy, which really helps me through COVID because I'm talking about my anxieties of COVID. I'm talking about my feelings of self-worth during COVID. And I'm telling
Cara, some real soul searching.
And I'm telling Cara all of these,
all your discoveries.
All of these fears, and just because we're in a relationship, I'm like, do you ever feel anything like this? And she just goes, I guess I've just got a quiet brain.
Peaceful in there.
I'm just like,
isn't that great?
She's just happy, man. And
isn't that the goal?
Yes.
Isn't that the singularity that everyone's trying to achieve?
He was a narcissist, egocentric, God complex motherfucker. Was one of the most when I'm just like, here's all my fears, and she listens and she cares. because they're my things and she wants to take them on board. But then when I'm like, and you feel the same way, and she's like, no, just SpongeBob music. Just most of the time. Up there, real good, dead happy, aye.
Yeah, just got me cat.
Me big fat cat and me big bald Cullen. Baldy!
I love it. So we've done
We've
like an
done
hour and 20 minutes, right? Which is like 2 hours, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
But I've still got loads to talk about. Right, I've still
10
got
past midnight.
So let's just do this then. This is part one. I fucking had a traumatic experience today.
Oh yeah, on the plane.
Like, my flight got redirected because somebody died.
Aye.
On the flight, and it's not a big plane. It's not like it happened at the other end of the fucking, you're on this long haul flight. It was like your typical internal flight. Aye. I was watching blokes do CPR.
Don't give too much away. We'll get.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna clickbait people with fucking someone's death.
No, we are.
But
yes, we are.
But we are.
Yeah, of course we are.
So
if we've learned anything from Have a Word, it's how to clickbait. If you want to find about how Kai let somebody die in his flight, that's right, let.
So I'll call this best episode yet. Fire emojis. You'll never believe what happened with Kai's dog. Also, I've got way more to talk about my dog.
Aye, and I've also got some news.
Are you clickbaiting them with your news?
Yes.
You got good. It's pretty cool news, like.
Not as good as the dog, but
it's not. It's on par. No, it's not quite as good as my dog.
We don't have to do dad jokes. Just, look, they stayed for 123 minutes. That's it. No, 1 hour and 23 minutes. 123 minutes would actually be 2 hours. Like
that was the joke. Imitating life.
Oh, I didn't know you did math, but of course you like math. I see.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So right, come back Thursday. We're gonna, because Danny, my dog, had a huff of us. And I was worried that
a rough.
We'll let that one slide now. One at the beginning, one at the end. Everyone does shit jokes twice. Once on the way up, once on the way down. It's like panto.
Explain Peter Kay's entire career.
Garlic with bread. I was talking about the other day about, how I had the translators on, sign language translators. In America, in Edinburgh, various gigs, which in rush hour had the translator. Imagine translating Peter Kay's garlic bread routine. So the deaf person sat there without the performance. They're just getting the words. Garlic with the bread.
Man, here's the big fucking proof to me. And look, I don't say this from an arrogant spot as being one of the very few British comedians who's actually cracked America.
Aye, one of two.
Aye. But it's like when Peter Kay, they're like, oh, he sells out Wembley, does this. I'm like, how literally no other country in the world gives a piping wet hot shit. Like, people in other countries, they know about Michael McIntyre, they know about Frankie Boyle.
Bridges
they know about
global.
Russell. They know about Russell Howard. Yeah. They know about no other country in the world gives a fucking shit about Peter Kay.
Perhaps
because he's shit.
Perhaps Benidorm.
Yeah, Benidorm.
that pretty much takes
garlic bread. And even Peter, Americans.
Everything goes with bread. You can have bread and butter pudding with raisins.
Also, it's garlic, you daft cunt. That's like saying salt and pepper squid. Salt and pepper. You know what?
Right. So, I want to tell you about when my dog had a huff. Like, honestly, I thought I huffed my dog. I thought I was going to come to Athens and my dog was in a huff.
We'll talk about it Thursday.
Honestly, that's a 1 hour podcast itself.
This is the plug for the Patreon.
All right. Okay, see you Thursday. Bye.